until I will trust. Okay, so I'm gonna treat everybody right. We know the words to that song. We know the words to a lot of gospel songs, and some of us know the Bible front and back. And some of us know our favorite scriptures that they taught us when we were younger. But it's like it's a disconnect because what we learn, what we sing about is not always how we live. And that don't mean that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And I know that other people aren't perfect, but we're supposed to be set apart. We're supposed to be a little bit more set apart when it comes to our actions, when it comes to how we speak and treat one another. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I know that it might be times that, I don't live accordingly, but I try. Even if others don't think that I do. But what I wanted to talk about was like, I know like my aunt, I got two aunts. It's a couple of them really. It's a couple of aunties that I speak of. Because it's a handful of them. It's about 4 of them to be exact. Yep, it's about 4 of them. It's about 4. Maybe 2 on the mama side, 2 on the daddy side. Okay. I've heard some very disturbing, very hurtful things. And so a lot of it, surprisingly enough, a lot of it happens when people are grieving. And I do understand that everybody grieves differently. And sometimes somebody's actions at the time when somebody passed might be very contrary to how they operate every day. But it shouldn't be so far stretched that because I'm hurting, because we lost our loved one, that I'm going to try to jab and hurt you too. And especially to the person who directly affected by somebody's comments. Like if it was that person's mom died, they dad, somebody real close to them. And so, I don't know. It ain't like it's a lot of aunties that it's always the aunties. I never really experienced it or see it when it's cousins attacking other cousins. It's always the aunties. For some reason, it's almost as if they feel that their relationship is way deeper and way closer to that person than that person's own child that they birthed. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But I've seen it so many times. And then it's like the people that we entrust, the ones that run to our bedside, because even in my own life, I will talk about me, because we won't talk about others. We're going to talk about just me. Like I know when it comes to designating people in my family that I trust. Like I trust pretty easily, but it's some people in the family who we might entrust a little bit more. Like in cases of emergency, that'll be my emergency contact that I'll put down. In cases that I'm stuck on the side of the highway, it might be somebody in the family who I know that I can count on. Well, now I'm here to Maine. They still gonna try to get there, or they gonna try to figure out a way for me to get home. That's how family used to be. So now the aunties, they operate under a different plan that I've just kind of never really seen in all of my years, and I'm almost 50. Yeah, I'm almost 50. I'm 49. But anyway, so they operate totally different, contrary to how I've seen before. But then again, maybe what I saw wasn't really what I saw because I was younger. I was younger, my eyes probably weren't as open as they are now with years of experience and experiencing things. But I've seen those people who you entrust to be the ones to run and to be there before they really sincerely used to be there. If somebody was hospitalized, people used to sit, the family will come, they'll even sit in the waiting area if we can't get back inside the room. Just letting your family member know that you there. You there to support them. You there to make sure that everything is in alignment. And I know that this is what that person wishes would be if something happened to them, that I'm right here. But they don't do that no more. They don't do that. We even dropping loved ones off at the emergency rooms and stuff and leaving. And this is just, this don't have nothing to do with a pandemic or anything like that. This is just people. So if you have loved ones that you entrusting to take care of things if something happened to you and to kind of be there, they may not. That's just the truth of the matter, you know, they may not. So I've had in my own experiences with my family, with my children, and being a single parent for a number of years, it was people, friends. I had a list. It was a list of friends that my children can call, that was immediate, that was right within 30 minutes of them, that would come, that I knew that would come. I had relatives, family members that I entrusted to, that, okay, you can call this person if this happens. You can call this one if this happens, you know. So, but like I said, them aunties, they operating totally different. I had my aunts. I had an aunt on my mom's side that my children could call on in cases of emergency, that I can call on in cases of emergency. I had one on my dad's side that I can call in cases of emergency. And I know that if I entrusted these people in the family, there were other family members who also probably entrusted that these people were straight, that they would look out for your best interest. They would look out for your kids' best interest if anything happened to you. But like I said, people are operating a little bit differently now. So I'm glad my children grown. I'm glad they grown now, and I'm glad that I can relay stuff to them myself on what my wishes are and what it is that I want them to do. And I'm glad that I raised them to be who they are, that I can at least count on at least one, you know. At least one. And actually, away from that subject, when I was younger, I really wanted to have a whole house full of kids. I don't know. It was just like, I grew up in a house with a bunch of us, and my mama didn't have a bunch of kids, but we had extended relatives that stayed with us as well. So just seeing how we grew up, and then I figured as a younger person that with having a bunch of kids, because I said I wanted like 9 or 10. And my mama told me, don't do it. Don't do it. Not that she didn't love her kids, but she knew stuff that I didn't know at such a young age. And now that I'm a little bit wiser, I understand. But I wanted a large family, and some of the reasons why was because the fact is that out of a whole bunch of them, I was weighing the odds, you know, that out of a bunch of kids, some of them will wind up being successful if I did my part that I was entrusted to do. So I didn't have a whole bunch of them. I only had 3. And so with those 3 that I have, I trust their actions. I trust that I did my part. And so that was away from the subject, but back to the aunties. So what I wanted to discuss was about how with those aunties in the family, sometimes entrusting them to be the ones to run to your bedside, they run into your bedside now. But what I've seen even from some of the aunts that I entrusted to put their names on my documents, those same aunties, when you see how they act with others and you see how they handle things and they process things, now my eyes are wide open that I see them in a different light, and I can't unsee that light. Even I can't unsee it. I forgive because I forgive 70 times 7. They may not forgive me after speaking on them, but I forgive, and that's the reason why I can still communicate and try, because we wake up, we get another chance. We get another chance to make it right and to try to at least forgive and be there for each other and help each other throughout this journey, because none of us is perfect. It's not a perfect journey. So with that being said, those same aunties that run to people's bedsides now, and I just can't imagine being about to take my last breath, and the person that's sitting at my bedside, that's a family member of mine that I trust and that I trusted with my life, and I'm about to take my last breath, and that they would do me dirty. That they'll hold on to wallets that don't belong to them and know that you aren't my next of kin. You only at my bedside because I trust you, and I trust that you gonna do what's right by my children if I close my eyes. And that you take wallets, you take purses, you take these items that should rightfully go to my child, and not go to my child for financial reasons, or go to my child because I want my mama's stuff because I'm greedy. I'm looking for letters. Now this is real. This one is for real, for real. I'm looking for letters after my mama passed because I saw them. I saw stuff that my mama was gonna leave. It was just her last words, her last wishes to her children, to her siblings. And she gave them to somebody that she entrusted to give to her daughters and to her sisters or whoever she wrote them for. And they didn't give them when she passed, whoever that person might have been. So with that being said, today, even years later, I see people doing some of those same actions. So they would say that, oh, that's my sister, or that's my brother, so that's the reason why I'm doing it. I'm trying to protect them. But you're trying to protect them from their adult children. That their adult children that they raised, that they entrusted, they just trust in you and they want you to be there because you doing what you're supposed to do as a sibling. Not because they think that you're going to do their kids dirty when they close their eyes, and that you're going to do whatever you want to do. Like I said, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate behavior for you to hold on to somebody's wallet, for you to hold on to somebody's purse, for you to hold on to their keys. Oh, I'm going to hold this person's vehicle. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. And even talking to people from a side of empathy that, hey, what if somebody did that to your own children? What if somebody did that to, and what if they had done that when your dad passed? What if they had done that when your mama passed? Nobody did that to you. So what gives you the authority and the right to do it to somebody else when the person who called you because they short of breath, come go to the emergency room with me, and you took it upon yourself to hold on to their things, not for memory's sake, not for any of that, just to be low down. Just to be low down. Oh, no, it ain't. It is low down, but it's also greed. That's what it is. Because if you care and you love that person like you said you love them, you wouldn't try to hurt their loved ones. You wouldn't try. And I've seen people so low down that they'll say things to that person about their mom, or about their dad or whoever, that, oh, he wasn't your daddy anyway. Auntie, Why would you say that to somebody in the process of them grieving about their loved one? If you held on to it for 40 years, and he called that child his child, why? That's ugliness. That's inappropriate. And then the part that kills me, the reason why I see these people different and can't unsee it, is because it's not like they in their 20s, 30s. These are the elders in the family. That's scary. These are the elders. These are the ones that when we were little kids and they used to hold the peppermints and give them to you in church, grab the gum out of your mouth and try to tell you right from wrong. These are them people now. And they are a different breed. They different. That's scary. Because the reason why it's scary, because like I said, I'm 49. I can't imagine the later and the effects that this would have on the next generation if we don't do our part to make sure that they don't turn out like that and to be those elders in the family. And so also getting upset because somebody did not bring their kids around when they were younger. Okay, so I just met one of my relatives. I met a couple of relatives really within the last year or so. And now the kids are grown. I never seen them. I just knew of them and knew that we were related, but never saw them. And that's okay for me. That's okay. You know, the thing of it is that if I protected my children, because my children were around too, but I was their immediate circle growing up. And so the thing of it is that if somebody chooses to protect their children or protect their peace or to protect their circle by keeping it small and by saying, okay, this poison that I see going on in my family, I don't want that to transfer over until the next generation. So I'm going to protect them with my life. I'm going to protect them. It ain't that I think that they better. They are better. But it ain't that I think that they are better as far as things and materialistic things. It's not that type of better. But we are better than the behavior that we present inside our families. We are better, and we should know better. It's a lot of stuff that we doing that's just it's not kosher. Kosher, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's not appropriate. We'll use that word. It's not appropriate. Kosher, yeah. So anyway, like I said, I got aunties not just holding keys and materialistic things. And like I said, it's just materialistic things really, if you really just boil it all down. A house, cars, all of these are material possessions that we can't take with us. And I'm sure that the children that's fighting for their mama things or their daddy stuff and their daddy keys and stuff, like this is ridiculous that you married to what I've seen is every time that one of the family members pass, you handing off the dead person keys, you holding on to this person keys, holding on to this person phone, and then you holding this person keys and you are outsider because you married in the family. Not really an outsider because you've been in the family for a long time, but it's not even that's not your blood relative. And you doing what your wife gonna instructed you to do instead of doing what's right. Holding on, every time somebody pass, you got the keys. You got the keys to their vehicles. You got the keys to the trailers. You got the keys to everything. Low down. Because And that's the reason why too, when you know that something is wrong and you still going along with it, you're gonna be held accountable for that. You're gonna be held accountable for your own actions, just like that person. Y'all married, but you gonna pay for your own sins, not because she told you to do X, Y, and Z, and that's why I did it. That's not acceptable. But my uncle had and like I said, it's not about the things. It's about that person memories. It's about because I don't think that they hurting for anything. I think that he was educated, he was well versed with the Bible, and his girls buried him with dignity. The ex-wife, I appreciate how much she stepped in and made sure that her girls did what was right by my uncle and they dad and my uncle's family, even though my family, yeah. But you can't go around forever thinking that God is gonna bless you. God is gonna, you know the Bible back to front, but we ain't gonna live by any of it. And that it's amazing. It's amazing that people think that I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all can tell me, but write it in the comments and let me know about some of the stuff that's going on or some of the stuff that you've seen, because maybe I'm just puzzled because maybe maybe it's just different. Maybe it's just my own experiences and not somebody else's experiences. But those people, I ain't gonna say some of the stuff I want to say, not all the way, but those people that run to these loved ones' side and want to be there, it ain't nothing but pure greed. Greed. Because the family member, they ain't thinking about the stuff. They want the stuff for memories. You want the stuff for to come up. And then the ones who want to come up, what I've seen myself, is that all of those people, I can name them name by name, all of them, all of those aunties, every last one of them, is greed. All of those aunties don't work, probably hadn't worked a little bit of their career, worked a little bit. See, I worked. I ain't talking about people that held on to a job and worked and got up day and night. Your kids, you had them in child care, or you had somebody caring for your kids while you went to work. I ain't talking about them type of parents. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about them ones that ain't really worked a lot during their whole life. Those be the ones that be the main ones that be running to people's bedside trying to pick up their things and gather their things and come up. You trying to come up off the dead. You trying to get policies off of the dead. And you indirectly, you ain't inside the little circle. You ain't a child. You got your own kids. You got grandkids. It's ridiculous that you would try to run to somebody's bedside saying that you the sibling and you the next of kin, and I got a policy on this person. You got a policy on them that you ain't even present to the person's children so that they can properly bury them. Greed. Greed. And it's hurtful. It's very hurtful. It's hurtful. But, we got to do better. We got to do better, because you know, when you do wills and you do estate planning, you can turn those documents in. You don't have to give them to your loved one. You don't have to give them to a relative. You can turn them in at your local courthouses and file those documents, and then have the other copy where you give it to the loved one. But they'll have it on file so that your children don't really have to depend on the relatives, because you know they ain't gonna do right. The ones that you think, even some people who got they husbands, they wives. I've seen people do some low down stuff when people pass. I've heard it. I've heard it or seen it. Some of the stuff that they have done and some of the steps that they have taken to come up off of somebody dying. So, with that being said, also with the estate planning, sometimes, and the thing is that a lot of the family members, and it's usually the ones that, because they already know they're going to come up. So there ain't no need for them to, you know. And their children, they got their children name and stuff on their house. So it won't happen to them. At least that's what my aunt said. That's what she said. It ain't going to happen to hers, because she made sure that she did what was right. But your brother entrusted you and entrusted the fact that you would make sure that his children, and they grown. I'm thinking we dealing with little kids. These whole grown-ups. Almost 40 years old and 32. They got their own, and their own families and stuff. So why wouldn't they know, you know, what to do? They need auntie. They need auntie to help them. So this ain't just in my family that I'm talking about or referring to. If it seems like any of this conversation is similar, I'm not really talking about nobody. You know, this is my opinion. This my opinion. It's my opinion, because it is in relation to what I've seen in some people's family on the mom side and the dad side. Not just, you know, currently my own situation. But everything that's being expressed is my own opinion. If it seems like it's similar, or it might be your own situation or your own family, or you might even be the auntie that's watching. You might think that I'm talking directly about you, but I'm just talking about aunties in general, in my opinion. I've also heard the aunts in the family refer to when a loved one passed, that they'll say things like, you know, that person never really had nothing anyway. He ain't never had no money. Or she ain't never had nothing. She ain't never owned nothing. Okay, that's well and fine. So even if it was only $15 in my mama's account when she passed, that $15, her kids were entitled to that $15. You know, just because and I've never seen where something that don't hold any value, people fussing over it. Okay, so if it doesn't hold any value, and he never really owned anything, he don't own anything now, she don't own anything, you know, they never owned anything, they never had any money in their bank account, hand over their stuff, because it holds no value anyway. Hand it over. She had bad credit, hand over the cards. What difference is it going to do me now that the person gone and they deceased? So therefore, that kind of tell me that part of that story may not be all true, because of the simple fact that they probably didn't. They probably didn't. It's possible. But in death, if none of those things hold any value, and that, why is it that you holding on to it? If he lied about ownership of different property, he lied about ownership of vehicles he was driving around in, it's not your problem. Give the keys to his daughter. Let her sort it out. That's her mess she got to figure out, not yours. You out. and not even blink while she cussing and don't think that nothing is wrong with her actions. Now I'm not trying to point fingers, but I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point about them aunties in the family. And the aunties just, as a matter of fact, let's rewind, because I don't want to talk about them specifically. I want to talk about just aunties in general. Some of the things that I have seen, some of the things that I have heard. Yeah, because let's start this back over, because we can't call people names.